Oh my Arceus, my starter is finally evolving. I can't wait to see what it is. I hope it's not another fire and fighting type. What the fuck? Alright, what's up trainers? I'm super happy to see you here and welcome back for another video. Last month I published my first video ever, and I couldn't believe how brilliant the response was. Thank you all so much for all of your support and wonderful feedback. I thoroughly enjoyed reading all of your comments and replying to each and every one of you. Apologies for delaying the delivery of part 2. I'm just one human being who's trying to balance out my work schedule, social life, gym routine, and home activities. Your patience has been gratifying. The group of you brought up compelling points that I'll render in my upcoming videos as a growing YouTube channel. There were many valid critiques which I'll be discussing shortly, but if you haven't seen my first video I will provide a link within the description. I highly recommend watching it so you get a clear understanding of why I'm remaking Kanto Pokémon. I dig into the origins of Pokémon designs, the developer's philosophy, and sprinkled in some interesting facts, so I hope to see you there. When I was younger I guess you could have called me a genuiner. I was attached to the idea that Pokémon designs had to emerge enticing, monstrous, and authoritative. But as I evolved into adulthood I discovered the lore of Pokémon methods, and perceived a novel found affection for recent graphics. Modern regions have been merging myths, folktales, and legends into the newer designs of Pokémon. The latest generations of starter trios acquire distinct themes that blend fluently into their cultural background. In Pokémon Black and White the starters are heavily influenced by medieval, East Asian, higher social classes. In X and Y they're inspired by RPG classes, and Sun and Moon are based on Rule 34. So in today's video I'll be executing vast visuals and unique themes for the Kanto starters. I'll be covering the awkward middle evolutions and their history. It'll be difficult to raise these edgy teenagers, but as you grow and conquer obstacles, win and lose, the bond with your starter Pokémon will strengthen unlike anything else, and will finally reach its fullest potential. Before I begin I just want to say that in no means am I fixing or improving these designs. This is merely a fun exercise that I hope you will enjoy. So be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if you've visited Rule 34. You probably have, so go wash your eyes out with Arceus water. Please. It's lazy by nature, so the eyes play an evident role to convey that. Its body will be rounder and softer, contrast to its angrier looking counterpart. The growing bulb on its back will resemble a vase with leaves flooding out. Freshly grass and leaves have been depicted smoother, which really emanates a simple aesthetic. I wanted to distinctly present the ivy in Ivysaur's name, so I developed the idea of including Boston ivy into the redesign. They're a type of flowering plant in the grape family that are native to Japan, which Kanto is based on. Another name for it is the Japanese creeper, because they have a difficult time growing without the aid of human intervention and occupy spaces many plants can't survive in. My concepts for Ivysaur went through a variety of different stages until I finalized construction. You think it'd be a simple task, just make it a frog, add some seasoning on top of it, and bon appetit, but this grassy boy took me the longest out of all my redesigns. Like literally since October of 2020. Most of my concept art portrayed Ivysaur to animalistic, and lacked the feel of a true Pokémon design, so I determinedly revamped it until I finally developed something that I was content with. Previous video I redefined Bulbasaur by rounding out its shape and recoloring it with a vibrant green. I also furnished it with distinct frog-like features, so I'm going to carry those physical attributes throughout the evolution line. Although Bulbasaur is extremely playful and boisterous, Ivysaur is the total opposite. While sunbathing near window ledges, Ivysaur are commonly mistaken for houseplants because of how still they are. Ivysaur are known to chew on weird miscellaneous items, standing on your laptop while you're working, head bumping you, and sleeping. A lot. Despite their poor speed, they mysteriously have a burst of the zoomies every night. They're essentially a houseplant, frog, with the personality of a cat. If you are a plantsman, gardener, or botanist, then this starter is the perfect partner for you. It antecedently had rough skin as a base ability, but people indicated how impractical it'd be due to its abhorrent defense. So I decided to swap it with Effect Spore and make Regenerator its new hidden ability. Frogs will naturally reproduce amputated cartilage and nerves. Its HP and special defense receive a boost upon evolving, while the rest of its stats steadily grow. Exposure to sunlight adds to its strength. Sunlight also makes the butt on its back grow. Its shiny variant becomes a lighter green to appear like a tree frog with purple hues to closer resemble its poison typing. Classic Charmeleon is great. It's just a lizard with anger issues, and those typical Gen 1 eyes. A staple of Charmeleon's appearance is its single horn-like protrusion. I established the horn analogous to an aircraft wing resembling a vertical stabilizer. The purpose of a vertical stabilizer, or fin, is a structure designed to reduce aerodynamic side slip and provide directional stability. It also parallels a mohawk, to present a rebellious nature. Charmeleon commonly brush charcoal outside their eyes to reduce glare, and minimize the effect of bright sunlight. Since Ivysaur is dual type, it's only fair that the other starters receive the same treatment. I incorporated the flying type into Charmeleon's redesign, by basing it on an agamid species of lizards called Draco, also known as flying lizards. They're capable of gliding flight via membrane, that may be extended to create wings, formed by an enlarged set of ribs called patagium. Its body type is heavily influenced by Hakamoa. Its relatively long arms with sharp claws and short legs were the ideal model for the reimagination. Although its nomenclature suggests commonality with the chameleon, its Japanese name defies that. Lizardo, the Japanese name for Charmeleon, clarifies that Charmeleon is rather predicated on lizards, with the English term being used as a pun for chameleons. As such, its design sets it apart from real-life chameleons, with the primary traits derived from it having a presence which is transitional between that of Charmander and Charizard, reflecting its character in its evolution family. By swinging its tail vigorously, it clenches the ability to control the temperature around it, capable of elevating it to unbearably high levels. Charmeleon battles in a rigid fashion, perceiving dishonest tactics such as sweeping foes off their feet with its tail, before slashing them to shreds. It takes an immensely skilled and calm trainer to raise one of these. It's essential you be aware of your stress levels, find common ground with Charmeleon, and expect rejection while establishing fair boundaries and appropriate consequences. Charmeleon's lit tail will burn brighter when it's near something that makes it happy. Charmeleon preserves its new abilities as shown in my previous video. Some people commented how their abilities should remain as their original abilities, but I wanted to breach that regulation, to give your starter Pokémon diverse viability in the competitive format. Evasion, White Smoke and Airlaid are a lucid giveaway to his following theme. Its agile stats compensates for its lackluster defense. It has a vicious and reckless nature. In battle it whips its fiery tail around in merciless slashes of foes. Since Charmander's new shiny palette is red, I thought it'd be innovative to turn Charmeleon orange as its shiny form. It's also the perfect opportunity for me to make it look like Vector from Despicable Me. I really wanted to emphasize the war in Wartortle's name, so my redesign will interpret it as a gun turret. How does a cute baby turtle transmission into an engineer of mass destruction? It's a mature subject matter that has been depicted in the anime, and modern Pokémon designs comparatively octillarly, Clawser and Inteleon. My preeminent incentive is the race hatching sea turtles need to endure to get to the ocean. Sea turtles lay their eggs on beaches so they can develop and have a chance at survival. The embryos rely on oxygen and breathe through a membrane, hence why sea turtles refuse to lay their eggs in water, since it'll destroy the eggs. However, that doesn't exclude their peaceful introduction into life. Hatchlings are naturally threatened by predators ranging from crabs to lizards, birds, and canines. Although Squirtle's race to the ocean is a dangerous path, a group of courageous Wartortle will defend hatchlings as they make their way towards the ocean. A war breaks out between Wartortle and Pokémon, such as Krabby, Pidgey, and Ekans, to ensure the survival of its species. The muzzle atop its bulky hide is a seashell called a turd or turtella. These shells are homes to the taxonomic family of snails and marine gastropod mollusks. I illustrated its body type with quillet and shape in mind. Just a sturdy, round-looking Pokémon with the right amount of chunk. The terminology is centered on the loggerhead turtle, a species of sea turtle that nests in Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku, and the Nansei Islands. Their anatomical terminology features a specific number of prefrontal and postorbital scales used to diagnose the species of sea turtle. I supplemented scale patterns across my redesign, while also materializing as camouflage. Upon evolving it gains some additional amplitude, and introduces its new steel typing. You may be wondering why. Originally I wanted it to be part rock type, but there's already an existing sea turtle Pokémon with the conjoined combinations. So I did some diving, and learned that the endoskeleton of sea turtles are formed by a protein called keratin, which are polymers of type 1 and type 2 intermediate filaments, that are only found in vertebrates, Amphioxus, and Neurochordates. So what does this have to do with being a steel type? It's estimated that approximately half of all proteins are made of metal, and a generic term for protein containing metal ion cofactors are metalloprotein. I don't mean to turn this into a science class, so hopefully Blastus will make more sense out of a steel type. I had a lot of fun remaking Wartortle because I knew exactly how I wanted to perceive it. It's an accomplishing feeling when you can inaugurate a visualization from your head and channel it for people to view. The average human has 6,000 thoughts a day, so I guess one of mine was a unicorn turtle. Wartortle can aim precisely at their target without hesitating to gush out high velocities of water, effortlessly withstanding the recoil. These loyal Pokémon will protect their trainer and teammates with their lives. Its shiny palette is a reference to the Navy's famous blueberry camouflage uniforms. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so sorry for the overdue upload. I'll try my best to manage my life schedule, and have part 3 released sooner than a month. I've already started working on it, and I'm excited to show you. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment which starter you are going to choose. Be good trainers, and I'll catch you next time.